So again, in consideration to dental aerosol generation, the most important topic which I thought we should consider in our dental clinic in day-to-day practice is dental unit waterline disinfection. So dental operative unit are considered as class 1 machines or class 1 medical devices as per the FDA, and it should have a pre-market clearance from the manufacturer. So according to these guidelines, every manufacturer should provide instruction that how we should clean our dental unit water line and in day-to-day practice. So what is dental unit water line? What are the evidences which shows that dental unit water line or contamination from dental unit water line can be the concern for a patient? What is the problem? What are the CDC, EPA, OSAP guideline for this? Then how to evaluate dental unit water line after disinfection? These all points I am going to cover in this section. So I would like to start with one question for all of you, that if you are going to railway station with your family and if your son or if your daughter asked for a water, whether you will give the water which is available from the tanks or whether you are going to buy a distilled water bottle. The answer is obvious. We used to prefer a distilled water bottle. This is because we know that it is a safe water and the water from the local tanks available there could have a contamination, right? So with this question and the simple answer, I would like to ask one more question, that whatever water we use in our dental chair for day-to-day operations, whether that water is appropriate for use in dental operatory procedures, and if a contaminated dental unit water line going to introduce microorganisms through your aerators or the scaler into the patient's mouth, whether we should follow the same procedures without decontamination of dental unit water line or not. It is because your patients believe that as you are a healthcare providers, you are providing the best quality of water for their treatments. So it is our responsibility to provide this for our patients in their treatments. So again friends, it is not a costlier affair, it is a very simple thing that we can implement in our dental clinic. But the fact is that many clinicians, they don't know what is dental unit water line, and this is a fact and we have to accept this fact. So our topic should start from this, that what is a dental unit water line. So dental unit water line means whatever pipeline in present in our dental chair and the aerator or the suction unit is attached with that water line, and it started from booster bottle and it goes up to the aerator, three-way syringe and your scaler. So we have to consider the structure of this tubing first. So this is a rubber tubing which is a very small in diameter and it has a tortuous course. Moreover, after our day-to-day procedure in dental clinic, the water which we use remains suspended in those tubings because of its tortuous course and its small diameter size, and because of that it leads to formation of biofilm. So first of all we will see what evidences are there which shows that dental unit contaminations from dental unit water line can affect our patients' lives. So in 2011, 82-year Italian lady was diagnosed with legionellosis and died after 2 days. So the patient's only known risk of exposure for legionella infection were her 2 dental appointment, because as she visit, so the patient's only known risk of exposure for legionella infection were 2 dental appointment. So the molecular testing was carried out to identify dental unit water line as a source of bacteria, and it was found that legionella bacteria was present in the dental unit water line, and that was the first evidences which highlight the issue of dental unit water line contamination. Then there is another evidence in 2015. There was an outbreak of non-tuberculous Mycobacterium abscessus odontogenic infection in Georgia, and it was reported in children receiving a pulpotomy treatment from a pediatric dental clinic. The suspected source of Mycobacterium was contaminated dental unit water line, and then again molecular testing was carried out by CDC from the same dental office, and it was found that non-tuberculous Mycobacterium was present in that dental unit water line. So these 2 evidences and many more are there which shows that dental unit waterline contamination can be a potential source of infection for our patients. For more evidences, you can go to the news section on our website, that is www.fumident.com. So I am going to cover the next section of dental unit waterline. So what is the problem? So problem is biofilm. So whenever any solid objects come in contact with water, the biofilm formation starts. As many of you have experienced that on our being a dentist, we know that our teeth exposed to dental biofilm and then to the dental plaque formation in day-to-day life. So the same biofilm formation occurs inside this tubing. So the biofilm is a thin, slimy layer of mycobacterium which is very resistant to disinfectant or the chemical, and it protects microorganism below it as well as it provides nutrition to the microorganism. So from contaminated dental unit water line, so few disease causing microorganism found in untreated dental unit water line like Legionella, Pseudomonas or Aeruginosa, then non-tuberculous mycobacterium and many more. So what can be done to ensure dental unit water quality? The first and most important point is we have to disinfect our dental unit water line on a regular basis to remove biofilm so that there will be a few bacteria remain inside the water which comes into the patient's mouth, and again that is going to affect quality of dental aerosols. So if the water coming into the aerator is less contaminated, the whatever aerosol generation will occur will be with less pathogenicity. So the first point is dental unit water line disinfection. Second point is which water we should use into the reservoir or the booster bottle. You can use RO water, you can use distilled water, or according to the EPA guideline we should use a water with minimum drinking quality water that should contain a less than 500 colony forming unit per ml of heterotopic water bacteria for non-surgical dental procedure. And if you are considering a surgical procedure, you should use distilled water or saline into the booster bottle. Again, many people use a chlorhexidine mouthwash or betadine mouthwash, or even they claim that we use sterile water or distilled water or saline inside a booster bottle. But the question is that if the pipeline through which these chemicals or these mouthwash or these water or saline coming inside your patient's mouth, if that water line is contaminated, whichever quality of water we will use in the booster bottle, it coming as a contaminated water through the contaminated dental unit water line. So before considering the use of this quality of water, we have to consider disinfection of dental unit water line. So there are some equipments available in market which claims that they control a biofilm generation inside a dental unit water line, but again these instruments or these machines are costlier one. So I am going to explain you here which the simplest procedure which you can maintain in your day-to-day clinical practice. And according to the CDC guideline, we should use a EPA registered product for disinfection of dental unit water line. So again, one concern is that if you are going to search for EPA registered disinfectant or product for dental unit water line, either you will not find any product available in India, or if you find, it is going to be a more costlier. So that is not a practical solution for our clinics. So the simple solution that we consider is use of EPA registered molecule for the same purpose, and hydrogen peroxide and silver nitrate combination is one of the molecule which we can use for dental unit disinfection. So how to do dental unit water line disinfection, we are going to demonstrate that in the next video, so that you can show that video to your staff and you can train your staff. If you are using hydrogen peroxide and silver nitrate combination, you have to use 20% concentration of this solution. Take 100 ml of water and 20 ml of this disinfectant, that will make 20% concentration of this disinfectant or 20% dilution of this disinfectant, and then you have to introduce that in your booster bottle, and you have to flush your aerator, scaler and three-way syringe for a few seconds, so that whatever water is present inside the tubing will get removed and the chemical from booster bottle will come inside the tubings. So now we have to keep it for minimum 1 hour, and after that, or if you using this for 1 hour, you have to remove that booster bottle and throw that diluted disinfectant, take a fresh water, attach it with the chair unit, and then flush all the equipment attached with the dental unit water line, so that whatever chemical was present inside the tubing will get removed and the fresh water will come inside the tubing. After that, you have to remove that bottle again, you have to replace that water with a fresh water, and then again you have to flush your dental unit water line so that we will ensure no chemical residue remain inside the tubing. This is important because if that chemical comes inside the patient's mouth, it can be harmful for the patient as well as it can interfere with your restorative procedures. So again, this is the one point that I want to highlight. Whenever you will select particular chemical or disinfectant for a dental unit waterline disinfection, you have to remember this thing, that the residues which remains inside the tubing should not strength of your restoration. So that is the reason why these particular chemicals or disinfectant have been guided by EPA, or these molecules have been guided by EPA for use of dental unit waterline. So even some people ask for use of sodium hypochlorite inside the tubing. So before you use this chemical, please go and read for the instruction whether you can use this chemical or whether this chemical will going to affect a dental restoration strength in a patient's mouth. So please go through to implement dental unit waterline disinfection practically in your clinic. So the one thing that I left in the dental unit waterline disinfection is what should be the frequency of dental unit waterline disinfection. So according to studies, biofilm formation start within 8 hours inside the dental tubing, and it could reach to 2 lakh colony forming unit per ml within 5 days. So at least we should do disinfection of dental unit waterline twice in a week or with a more frequency.